Tonight, breaking news, a plane crashing into a shopping center. The emergency as the twin-engine plane slams into a parking lot. No one on board surviving. What the pilot did before the moment of impact. Also tonight, the alleged assassination attempt by drone. Venezuela's president says he was the target. The wild scene caught on camera. Troops running off, then the live feed suddenly cut. Plus, President Trump lashing out about the Russia investigation, defending his son, Don Jr., and that infamous meeting at Trump Tower. What the president is now admitting. Relentless fires, the images coming in, new evacuations with more dangerous heat ahead. Plus, earthquake disaster. More than 80 people killed when a massive quake rocks a popular vacation destination. And firework attack, the rocket tossed from a car exploding into a restaurant.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on a very busy Sunday night. I'm Tom Yamas, and we begin with that breaking news. The pilot of a twin-engine plane declaring an emergency not far from an airport. The Cessna crashing right into a shopping mall parking lot in Orange County, California, crushing a car. 5 people were on board. None of them survived. But the car it came down on was empty, and no one on the ground was hurt. What officials are calling a miracle. ABC's Will Carr is on the scene in Santa Ana tonight.
Truck 76, Truck 6, Mace engine 82, also engine 28, engine 77, helicopter 1. Plane reported down at Sunflower and Bristol.
Tonight, the dramatic scene, that small plane crashing down from above, right into a car in this parking lot. The windshield crushed.
Oh my God, dude.
Plane debris scattered outside the Staples store. Parts of the wing, even the wheels, leaving shoppers stunned. Authorities say the plane was on its way to John Wayne Airport when it declared an emergency. Then just after 12:30 local time, the twin-engine Cessna 414 went down. Moments later, a crowd gathering around the aircraft. Investigators say the 5 dead, all on board. Luckily, the owner of the car inside shopping.
Well, the fact that there was no injuries on the ground is a miracle in itself.
Will Carr joins us now live from the scene. Will, you mentioned a nearby airport. How close was it, and the NTSB now taking over?
That's right, Tom. John Wayne Airport's just 2 miles from here, and behind us, authorities have cleared the scene for the public because there's still jet fuel on the ground tonight. It comes as the NTSB is on the way. They'll try to figure out exactly what caused this crash. Tom.
Will Carr on the scene of that plane crash tonight. Will, thank you. Next to the alleged assassination attempt playing out on live TV. The president of Venezuela speaking in a public square, interrupted by a series of blasts. His bodyguards jumping in to protect him, holding up shields. Seconds later, troops at attention scattering and running away. You see that right there. The president says it was an attack by drones armed with explosives, and he's vowing maximum punishment. But tonight there are questions about that claim. Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro speaking at a military parade in the capital when chaos erupts. Maduro, with his wife by his side, looking up. You can see his wife flinching. Then the feed cuts out. Bodyguards swarming to protect him. At the sound of an explosion, soldiers and military bands who'd been standing at attention, breaking ranks and scattering. Smoke rising over the city. Maduro unscathed and defiant, hours later claiming this was all an assassination attempt by drone. I'm standing alive and victorious, ready to continue the battle, he says. Today, his interior minister releasing an image of the kind of drones they say were used in the alleged attack, claiming that the would-be assassins detonated 2 drones carrying C4 explosives. One targeting the stage, the other losing control and exploding at the base of a building as it fell. But firefighters on the scene disputing that claim, telling the Associated Press at least one of the explosions was from a gas tank in a nearby apartment building. The potential coup coming at a time of extreme hardship in the once wealthy Venezuela. We've been documenting the struggles inside the country, last year meeting Vanessa and Adolfo. Two teachers who have to alternate meals to make sure their son gets to eat. And earlier this year, we traveled to the Venezuela-Colombia border, witnessing thousands fleeing the country. This place gets about 200 to 300 people a day, many of them suffering from the effects of hunger. Tonight, the Venezuelan government blaming the incident on far-right factions inside the country, who they say collaborated with conspirators in both Colombia and the United States.
If the government of Venezuela has hard information that they want to present to us that would show a potential violation of U.S. criminal law, we'll take a serious look at it.
The Venezuelan government says 7 people were injured, but no one was killed.
Matt Gutman joins us live now. The Venezuelan government and allies in the region, like Bolivia's leader, blaming the attack on the United States without providing any evidence. And Matt, this has some are wondering if Maduro himself was behind the plot to build sympathy or crack down even more on his own people.
Yeah, some of the people who are talking about that, Tom, are in the U.S. government. In fact, just today, National Security Advisor John Bolton suggesting that the alleged coup might have been a, quote, pretext set up by the Maduro regime itself to divert discontent over his authoritarian rule. Now, it is worth noting that if this attempt was in fact real, it would constitute the first ever attempt by drone on a sitting head of state's life. Tom.
Matt Gutman live for us tonight. Matt, thank you. Back here at home, President Trump with a new round of attacks on the special counsel investigation. And tonight defending his son, Don Jr., for that meeting at Trump Tower with a Russian lawyer during the campaign. The president saying for the first time the meeting was to get information on an opponent, but also saying it was perfectly legal. Here's ABC's Tara Palmieri.
Tonight, President Trump lashing out against reports that he's increasingly worried about his son's entanglement in the Russia investigation.
The Russian witch hunt. A Democrat-inspired witch hunt.
Tweeting, fake news reporting a complete fabrication that I'm concerned about the meeting my wonderful son Donald had in Trump Tower. The president claiming it wasn't criminal for campaign aides, including Donald Trump Jr., to meet with Russians at the infamous Trump Tower meeting months before the election. President Trump admitting the purpose of the meeting? To get dirt on Hillary Clinton. Tweeting, this was a meeting to get information on an opponent. Totally legal and done all the time in politics, and it went nowhere. I did not know about it.
Did you tell your father anything about this?
No. It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
But ABC News has learned Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen says then candidate Trump did know in advance about the meeting. When the meeting was revealed last year, Donald Trump Jr. released a statement claiming it was about Russian adoptions. That statement dictated by the president, something one of his lead attorneys initially denied.
The statement that was released on Saturday was released by Donald Trump Jr., and I'm sure in consultation with his lawyers. The president wasn't involved in that.
George Stephanopoulos confronting Jay Sekulow about that today.
I had bad information at that time. I made a mistake in my statement. I got that one wrong.
In the ever-evolving legal defense strategy, the president and his lawyers are claiming that collusion isn't a crime, and he can put an end to the Mueller investigation.
Does a president have the authority to shut down an investigation? Well, the answer to that, of course, under Article 2 is yes.
President Trump now growing frustrated that special counsel Robert Mueller wants to question him about possible obstruction of justice.
Tara's in New Jersey tonight with the president. And Tara, the president's attorney saying if the special counsel does issue a subpoena to try and compel him to testify, they're prepared to take this all the way to the Supreme Court.
That's right, Tom. President Trump has said all along that he wants to sit down with Robert Mueller, but his lawyers are advising him against it. And now his lawyer, Jay Sekulow, telling George Stephanopoulos that if they're subpoenaed, they'll fight it out in court. Now, this investigation has been going on for over a year, and the president has said he wants it wrapped up now. Tom?
Tara Palmieri for us tonight. Tara, thank you. Now to the case of the nation's heartland, baffling investigators. 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts, a sophomore at the University of Iowa, vanishing while out on a jog. Her family reporting her missing more than 2 weeks ago. The FBI tonight focusing on what local residents may know, including a farmer with a criminal past. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, authorities intensifying their search for 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts. Federal investigators interviewing residents in and around the town of Brooklyn, Iowa.
Was one of those people
56-year-old Wayne Cheney, who lives in a trailer home about 500 yards from a pig farm that was searched by investigators more than a week ago. Cheney tells ABC News the FBI questioned him Friday. He has a criminal past, convicted for stalking and harassment, but he says he never met Molly or her family. And he has not been named a person of interest. Investigators continue to interview others.
We're all in this together. We're all trying to bring Molly back.
Tibbetts vanished while out for a run in this rural Iowa town more than 2 weeks ago. She had been living with her boyfriend for the summer. He was working a construction job 100 miles away when she disappeared. Police say he is not a suspect. Tonight, the reward is now more than $200,000. Her family refuses to lose hope that they'll find Molly alive.
You can't give up hope. I mean, I know if it were me that were missing, Molly wouldn't give up hope.
Authorities are not releasing much information right now, but investigators say they do have a solid base of evidence they are working from. Tom.
Stephanie Ramos for us. Stephanie, thank you. Now to the deadly magnitude 7 earthquake, panicking tourists overseas and triggering tsunami warnings. It happened in Lombok, Indonesia, near Bali. Disaster agency officials say now at least 82 people were killed. Chaos in the hospitals and in the streets. At least a dozen aftershocks. That quake hitting just 1 week after a similar tremor killed 17 people. Back here now, California's wildfires now officially called a major disaster. 2 fast-growing wildfires burning north of Sacramento are forcing new evacuations and threatening 15,000 homes. And tonight, the state is mourning the loss of yet another life to those fires. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reporting from California tonight.
Tonight, new evacuations in wildfire-weary California. The Mendocino complex fire exploding to more than 250,000 acres overnight, becoming the 5th largest blaze in state history. This man with a bucket of water desperately trying to save his home as the flames close in. That fire destroying at least 130 structures.
Every ember lights a spot fire. So that's creating huge issues for us because if you get 100 embers that land in a particular area, they all start a fire.
More than 15,000 firefighters working tirelessly as 18 wildfires burn statewide, including the Carr Fire, which officials say has potentially claimed another life. A utility worker in the vicinity killed in what's being described as an accident. And Tom, with all of this destruction, a bit of hope tonight. Firefighters say they are making progress containing these fires, but with these hot, dry conditions expected to continue this week, the threat is still far from over. Tom.
Marcy Gonzalez in just one of those burned out areas in California. All right, Marcy, Sam Champion is here now. And Sam, there's still more dangerous heat out west?
Yeah, got to remember that there's 68, Tom, uncontained wildfires, large fires burning in the west. And this is why. This is what we're used to seeing. That intensive heat excessive warnings and heat watches, air quality alert, all that's bad just because that Ferguson fire and down into the valleys, that smoke will stay there till that fire's out. It's going to be a long time. 103 in Redding, 98 in Sacramento, 99 in Fresno, 110 in Vegas, Tom. That heat continues in the west and will stay there.
And the rain, as you mentioned, you were telling me earlier, is on the way out here in the East Coast, but now we're going to get some serious heat.
Yeah, and they both play into making it very uncomfortable. So we've got some heat advisories out for much of the mid-Atlantic, also in New England now, because we're going to get those temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above normal. With that humidity, it's very uncomfortable for the next few days.
All right, Sam, thanks so much. This hot summer weekend has been especially violent in Chicago. Since midnight, at least 40 people have been shot, and since Friday at 5 p.m., 57 have been shot. 6 have died. A police spokesperson said they know some of these incidents are targeted and gang-related. The police superintendent saying we just have too many guns on the streets of Chicago. We move on now to that troubling discovery in the New Mexico desert. The search for a missing 3-year-old boy leads to a filthy makeshift compound. 11 children there with little food or water, wearing rags for clothes. 2 heavily armed men were taken into custody. But still tonight, no sign of that missing 3-year-old. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, alarming images from inside the compound where New Mexico officials say they rescued 11 starving children from squalid conditions.
These children, the best way to describe it is they literally look like starving refugees.
Authorities say the kids ages 1 to 15 held without running water or electricity, emaciated. Seasoned law enforcement officials shocked.
I'm a 30-year police officer. This is by far the worst thing I've ever seen as far as living conditions. This one hit us all very hard.
The Taos County Sheriff says it started with a multi-state search for a missing 3-year-old, believed to have been abducted in Georgia by his father, 39-year-old Siraj Wahaj. The sheriff sending in tactical teams. The 3-year-old boy nowhere to be found, but his father holed up and heavily armed.
Mr. Wahaj was found to be wearing a belt that had pouches with 5 fully loaded AR magazines, 30-round magazines. He was in possession of an AR assault rifle and 4 other handguns.
Wahaj taken into custody. Another man, only identified as Lucas Morton, also arrested, accused of harboring a fugitive.
And Siraj,